Hello and welcome to TribeCast, episode number 1. We are excited to bring this series to the community and just get some experience for our students here. Episode number 1. First of all, let me introduce myself as Derek Gowan, Mr. Gowan. I teach Tribe TV Media and Technology here. Who do we have right here?
I'm Gannon Smith. I'm a student in Tribe TV.
What grade are you in, Gannon?
I'm a senior.
Senior. And then all the way across?
I'm Zaire. I'm also a senior here in Tribe TV.
And then our first guest on the TribeCast is my former boss, Gannon's former boss, Mr. Rob Althouse. He is the operator-owner of Mike Anderson Chevrolet down in Gas City, Indiana. Rob, thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dave. Welcome, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, so let's just start off real quick with a quick get-to-know-you kind of question. So I know a little bit about you, Rob. And Gannon knows a little bit about you, but our audience may not. So tell us a little bit about yourself. If you're from here, where'd you grow up? How'd you get into kind of your business and all that kind of stuff?
Very good. So my name is Rob Althouse. Raised here in Gas City, 1984, graduate of Mississippi High School. Big fan of the Indians. Went to, after high school, went to Vincennes University to study drafting. Didn't know automotive was going to be my career, but apparently I have a passion for automobiles, so I started with Mike Anderson. Actually, it was Twin Cities Chevrolet back in the day in 1984. Married my high school sweetheart, Mary. She was a 1983 graduate of Mississippi. We raised two beautiful daughters who are a 2010 and 2013 graduate of Mississippi. So we have a lot of connections to the school. Always been a big supporter of our community, and born and raised here, still here, and we'll retire.
We'll be here forever.
Yeah.
All right, Gannon. You've worked with the man.
I have.
What did you do under Rob?
So I cleaned and detailed the cars that went out on the parking lot.
On the lot. All right. So you were the guy that made them look all pretty?
Yeah, well, I was one of them.
One of them.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead with your question for your former boss here.
All right. How long have you been working for Mike Anderson?
I was previously there. It was called Twin Cities Chevrolet, and I hired in there in '85. Mike Anderson bought the dealership in 1988, and Mr. Anderson passed approximately 5 years or so ago, which afforded me the opportunity to buy into the dealership and so forth. But I was there from inception.
Oh, yeah.
Almost 40 years. If it was 85, so 40 years will be next year.
And doing the math, I'm only 37 years old. It's kind of hard to figure that part out.
Want to tell? Look, 36.
Yes.
So it sounds like you didn't always know you were going to go into the automotive industry. So kind of what was that turning point for you that made you really want to jump in?
Well, after college, I was doing what Gannon was doing, detailing cars and so forth, and there was a gentleman there that saw something that I didn't, and that gave me an opportunity in sales. I was a little reluctant at the beginning, somewhat like Derek, but I took the opportunity, and I've kind of just found home there. Figured out that I really passionate about this, and there was just something about it when that customer said, "Yes, I'll buy your car," that really just
Hey, I can
set home. I mean, it's a feeling undescribable, but it was just like, I really enjoy this.
Yeah. I can definitely attest to the feeling of getting a yes. It's nice.
It is a job well done. It is okay. And then, they pay you to do it. So it's like, okay, I like this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely remember my first sale. It was like a 2010 Malibu or whatever, and that first commission check, I got like $600 for it, and I was like, I could do this. I can do this. This is all right.
They're not all that much, so he must
No,
have
they're
had
not. They're
he
not
must
all
have
that
had some
much.
good
but
coaching.
Hey, I have a Malibu. I know it's not worth very much.
Well, there's a couple Malibus
There
in the
is?
room.
Oh, yeah.
Mine's a bit older, 2002.
Yeah, I got another question. What is your favorite car of all time?
My favorite car of all time? I would
Yes.
probably have to go back to my first car, which was a 1971 Chevelle that I had here in high school. Did some donuts in the back parking lot out back out there. Things were a little bit different. But that was my favorite car of all time, my 71 Chevelle.
Now, back then when you were going to school here, what would be some advice you would give to your 18-year-old self about to graduate?
Don't do some of the things that I did. Don't get caught doing some of the things that I did. I don't know. some of the advice, that would be a long conversation. I don't know, but enjoy life, study hard, get to school on time, do the things that you do, find a couple mentors, and relish the information that they give you.
Yeah. So when did you say you graduated again?
1984.
1984, and I believe I remember you were a part of a special football team here, weren't you?
Oh yeah.
Talk about
I
that
heard
a little
about
bit.
Our 1984 class, or 83-84 class, we done some good things. My junior year, we were kind of, I don't want to say mediocre, but average. We were 5-5, and then we had some pretty strong underclassmen. But in '84, they changed the playoff scenario because it used to you had to win your conference to go to the
Yep.
playoffs. Then they come up with what they defined as a cluster, which grouped a smaller number of teams. And then if you won your cluster, you made it to the playoffs. And we had a tie in our cluster. There was 3 teams. We won what was renowned as the Cluster Buster here at Mississinawa. Then went to sectional and beat Twin Lakes to give what I believe Mississinawa's first sectional victory in football.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And did you guys win regionals that year too?
No, we did not. We had the honor of going up to Fort Wayne Dwenger and getting pummeled by a college level school. I mean, they were extremely good.
I feel like that happens a lot with our sports teams. We're like a sectional. We're like a sectional. And every once in a while, you get like a tennis that gets regional or whatever. But then once you hit that regionals, you place like the Indy or the Fort Wayne schools.
Yeah, I
and
think
you're
a
just
lot of
kinda-
our losses in regionals has been by Leo.
Oh, we lost to Leo like 3 times this year. So
Yeah.
those Fort Wayne schools.
I know. I don't
They're
think
big,
I don't
they're
think it's
good.
fair.
Totally different up
Yeah.
there.
I need
And
to
I'm
get
not
some of
gonna
that
say they're
tap
doing
water.
an elite.
I don't know what it is.
I'm not gonna say they're doing any
Something like that.
recruiting or anything, but you know some of them are. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so you graduated in '84,
Yes.
and then you said, where did you go to college? You said
Vincennes University.
Vincennes University down in Vincennes, Indiana. How
Yes.
far away is that from here?
My best time ever making it was 3 hours and 50 minutes.
Okay, so what about for normal people, like 4:15?
4.5 hour drive.
Okay,
but
4.5.
now that I-69 is a little bit farther down,
Yes.
there was just no direct route. But
No, that's true. Yeah, we have 69 almost all the way down South Indiana now. So
yes, that does make it easier.
Now, growing up in Gas City, what are some of the biggest changes you've seen just throughout the years in the community?
Biggest changes? There's not really been a whole lot of growth as far as population. There's been, I don't know, we're still a tight-knit community, always have been a tight-knit community. I grew up on the east side of town, right by where Kmart or the Walnut Creek Outdoors is. Actually, when I was a young kid, there was no Kmart. I mean, Gas City stopped at 10th Street right there. So, I can remember when they built McDonald's. I'm really dating myself. But the growth as far as the businesses and so forth has been from where I was at there on 10th Street all the way out to the interstate. Because, back in the day, the only thing out at the interstate was an old rundown gas station. There was nothing out there.
Wow.
And then our mayor, he had the vision, Beaner Lynn, to run utilities and run everything out there. And we kind of beat Marion to the punchline of getting everything out at the interstate. That was a big part of it. I remember when the high school opened, because I think the first graduating class would have been 81 or somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
I think it opened in 77, 78. But I went to
Yeah,
junior
somewhere.
high. Back then they called it junior high because 6th grades didn't go there, but was the old high school, which is the middle school now.
Yeah.
So that was a big change there with the school being here, because this used to just be a field full of trees.
Definitely did. So, talking about your growing up in the high school here, college, but you came back after college. This was actually a question by one of my other students here that's actually just off camera, but who are some of your like mentors or role models that kind of pushed you to be who you are today?
From the community?
Not necessarily from the
school?
community, kind of from just anywhere in your life, really.
Probably my biggest would have been my father. My parents separated early on, didn't really get to know my father until my middle school, high school days and so forth, and he was in the automotive, he was an auto body, but he was always my biggest coach, my best friend, my inspiration to do things the right way and to do, I mean, I would have to give all the credit probably to my father. He was my best friend. We talked before he passed approximately 5 years ago, but before he passed, I mean, every day we were talking and, discussing life, doing this, doing that, and he was there when, because of course I said I married my high school sweetheart, so, I always said I learned a lot from my father, what to do and sometimes what not to do, but, which I think we do.
We all do, yeah.
We all do, but that I would say was probably one of my bigger mentors. Here in the school, a couple of my teachers, Mr. McKenzie.
Okay, yeah.
I had Mr. McKenzie in school. He was fantastic. There was a few of them there that was just always. Mr. McKenzie was just he was a young teacher back then, and actually in one grading semester I got an A+ in his class, which I
Nice.
think was unheard of, but that was nice.
He must have liked you.
Yeah, he was a good guy. But there was a few of them. It was fun in school back in the day, and we had Tucker Area Career Center. So, and one of my other mentors was my teacher over at Tucker Area Career Center, and that's probably why I ended up down at Vincennes, because he got us hooked up. In high school, I was able to work at the General Motors plant, and I thought that was going to be my future working for CAD/CAM, but that was kind of my start being around automotive and so forth. But there was a gentleman named Harold Smuck was his name, but Tucker Area Career Center, which I really feel that we need career centers again.
Oh, yeah.
But that was really nice. So, my senior year, especially during football and working at the GM plant, only had one class here, which was kind of unique because I already had all my credits, had everything, but I won't mention any teachers' names, but I had one class, and I had to take one class here because of Tucker and work, and I signed up for a study hall that I never went to. So
I don't think any of my students can relate to that.
Nah, not at all.
They're here every day.
Yeah.
Right, Zaire?
Every day.
Every day.
I'll never forget Mr. Childers comes up and says, "Robbie, I had you down for this," because I said, "Oh, I changed that. I didn't do." And nobody ever said another word, so I never really was here much my senior year until football practice, until
Yeah.
a few things here and there, so forth. But
Oh yeah.
that was fun.
Now,
Mr. Childers, is he still around?
He was here when my wife first started, which would have been about 5-6 years ago.
Okay.
So he hasn't been around for
What do you
probably.
teach?
Geography.
Yeah, he was a history teacher.
History, geography.
I think he was here my wife's first year, and then after that he's been gone. So
Great guy.
now, with those mentors and that experience and the lessons they gave you, what would you say you define success today? Like, how do you define that?
Well, a lot of people would probably lean towards financial, but success is the feeling of a job well done. And with my position, success means impacting others. I'd like to think, whether it be pro or con, that I've left somewhat of an impact on these two gentlemen over here.
For sure.
So I'd like to think that it was a positive impact. With that, when you make positive impact, comes a reward, a good feeling that, yes, I helped, or I guided that individual to do something or learn something.
Yeah.
That's very rewarding.
Yeah.
I remember one of the first things you ever taught me when I started working there. I worked there for what, 2.5 years, something like that.
Yeah.
But was it the 3 M's?
Three
The
M's.
3 M's.
The
that,
3 M's of life.
If you have the 3 M's in life, you're gonna work as hard as you can to provide and
You're
support
there.
those 3 M's, and I'm there. So the first one would be marriage.
Marriage, mortgage, and maternity.
Yep, marriage, mortgage, and maternity. So when you get married, when you have a house, and then when you have a kid.
Responsibility pushes you to do things.
Yeah.
It makes you need to achieve. I got a mortgage payment coming up. I got to feed my family. I've got to whatever it is. But I've always said the 3 M's of life will push you and make you get to those levels.
That's a great saying.
I experienced one of those while I was working there. We didn't have the Lakeland until after I stopped, but definitely bought a house when I was there, and I had a lot of questions about that too. So, but you talk about your impact, and so you said you started working. When did you actually take over Mike Anderson? It was after Mike Anderson passed away, so that would have been
Well,
what?
I was already the general manager before he passed, so I was already
Yes.
running the dealership because Mike had 13 locations at that time.
Oh, yeah,
I think
it was
it
a
is
lot.
13. I sold cars for 9 years. So let me figure this out. In 1994, at the end of '94, I became a sales manager. Then worked my way up into a general sales manager, and now owner.
Okay, so you've been doing that for almost 25, 30 years now? General manager?
About 12.
Roughly?
Yes.
Cool. So you talk about the impact, and you've been in the community your whole life. So what about, I know you talked about like the changes of Gas City, but what is it about like local Gas City small town life that just like you're gonna stay here forever? Like what's so great about Gas City? And you can tell me because I've only been here for what, 5 years, 6 years now at this point, so I know what I think, but you've been here since you were born.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's my loyalty mentality. Just being very loyal to the community, I've always felt that you should do business where you live. You should be loyal to your local businesses. And I just love the vibe of our city. I love knowing everyone. You know, going into a convenience store, everywhere you go, you know people. And I guess that when I look at my build of who I am, I like people. I love people. And you know that some people don't. I mean, and I've always felt like I cared what people thought about me, and then and I think if you do care what people think about you, you want people to like you, then you want to be around people. And when it's kind of nice if you go into a local restaurant and you know someone. I mean, I've been around here for a long time, and everybody knows me. It's almost like I have a Chevrolet bow tie on my forehead, and everywhere I go, and that's the Chevy guy.
Yeah.
So, and I love my product. So, and I'm be American, buy American kind of guy. I've just always been that way. And I don't know if I answered your question or not there,
No, it
Derek,
does.
but I mean, I think that's who I am.
I mean, I've even noticed that just in my 6 years. I'm from Indianapolis, so I will always have the big city hustle and bustling life in me, but I don't know, there's something about small town living
There
that,
is.
that Bree and I love.
And it's not for everyone. Even back in some of my classmates after graduation, there was a tremendous amount of them that couldn't wait to get out of here.
Yeah.
And there was nothing I wanted to leave.
Yeah. I say all the time, Indiana's great,
And
but people love getting out of Indiana.
And I don't know what they're attempting to escape from or what. I mean, I guess people are different there, but I love the small city vibe. I love the people in it. And, we have great leadership in this community, even in our own community schools and so forth. I love it.
Yeah.
Now, with that love for the community, you're a pretty business savvy person. How would you improve Gas City
Here we go.
if you had control?
That's a big question.
If money was not an object, Rob, what would you do to Gas City? Finally get the music center built?
Well,
Just kidding. We're not getting political here.
but does the question imply it's broke?
No, it just, your favorite dessert, you could improve it with something else that you really like. Or if you made some dinner that you really enjoy, it'd go even better with your favorite drink. Just how would you make something you already love even that much better?
You stumped him, Zaire.
Well, I mean, but there's a lot of things that we'd want to do different. There's a lot of things I don't know, but there's a lot of things that's right too. I mean, I'd love to have some more restaurant options and so forth, but maybe some manufacturing, maybe some some mid to high level paying jobs would help us tremendously. I mean, because not everyone's cut out for college. You graduate high school, and everyone's looking at you going, what are you going to do with your life? And, you know, my time frame, fortunately, when you graduated from high school, if college wasn't your thing, you could find a manufacturing job and be able to live a middle-class life and raise a family and do okay, you know, in life. Those options aren't abound as they once were to exit high school and go find a manufacturing job. And not everybody's cut out for manufacturing. I mean, I understand that. But Gas City, from the outside looking in, is a small community that a lot of people admire. So to say, what would you change? I don't know that I would change a whole lot. I mean, because obviously we're experiencing some good growth at this point. And, you know, my business, our operation, I think is a success story, because when you look at Grant County, Indiana, we have a decay in population, but not in Gas City. Everything seems to be going well, but when you look at what our job or my profession is, most people wouldn't put together a business plan that would warrant a new car franchise in Gas City, Indiana. I mean, it's a population of 6,000, or, you know, Jonesboro's what, 1,500, whatever that is. But what would I change? I don't know. I think we have some positive momentum. I think we have good leadership here in Gas City. I think we're headed in the right direction, and maybe some more businesses, some more restaurants. But more than anything, I would sure welcome a employer, a manufacturing facility that would employ several hundred people. I think that would be fantastic for Gas City.
Yeah, I agree. And we are making progress with some of those businesses that you were talking about, like the new commercial, I don't even know what it is, but it's like a commercial land where like 14 businesses are going to get put in here soon.
I saw that.
Out by the highway.
Like an industrial
Yeah,
park.
industrial park kind of thing. We have the hospital that'll go up eventually. Some new businesses coming. So I love what we're doing. I actually just heard that we're this close to getting a YMCA as well.
Really?
Yeah, but I don't know how. That's what I hear, and that one came from a reputable source. So
Yeah,
I trust
there
that
is
one.
some rumblings about the YMCA and so forth. But I mean, in our community, I mean, Taylor, our universities that we have, what do they define that as? Brain drain, you know, as when you get those graduates that just leave and so forth. But I think the investment not only in Gas City and but in the surrounding communities is boding well, and hopefully Grant County, Gas City will continue to have growth.
Yeah, I mean, we're experiencing it here at the high school. So they've actually there's a building plan being created right now to try to add on to the high school, and whether that gets approved or not, so be it. But like we're busting at the seams for all of our schools right now. No, not a single room open in the entire school system. So,
which I think a lot of it attests to Gas City has some very positive momentum, and people are looking at us and want to be a part of it.
Exactly.
These past couple of years, while I've been in high school, I've just seen, like, you know, I grew up in Gas City. I lived in Marion for a couple years when I was younger, but I've grown up a lot of my life in Gas City, walking to my friends' houses, walking down Main Street. And Main Street has just seemed to, like, come alive with new businesses. And I love it. It's like, you know, you have reasons to go outside again. And I really like the improvements that we have been making these past couple of years.
Yep. And keep watching the
agree.
podcast, because we'll have a bunch of those businesses on here soon. Like we have a New Leaf coming on, Mama Pearson's is coming on, Strictly Nails and Tanning is coming on, which is cool because I know Strictly. I worked with Wendy Strickland, who was the original creator of that, and then quickly sold it and moved to Florida. And I think they're coming back, aren't they?
They're moving
Well,
back up
back
to,
to
like
Kentucky.
Tennessee or Kentucky, yes.
But yeah, so that'll be fun getting to talk to a lot of these business owners. But let's talk about Mississinawa High School. You went here. You are an Indian through and through. We watched several playoff games at the dealership when I was working there.
Oh, yes.
What does it mean to be an Indian to you?
It's a proud feeling to say that you're a Mississinawa Indian. And I guess that goes back to me being a loyal person, but I don't know. kind of a tough question to answer.
Oh,
What,
yeah. That's
I mean, you're a transplant. What's it mean for you to be an Indian
flipping
now?
it back on them.
I think it just goes to kind of what you said earlier. I think our school system, our administrators, all of the
Yes.
people that we have working here, like there's just something different. And you mentioned this yesterday when we were doing a practice pod about there's just something about Mississauga where you go here and everybody cares.
Yes.
Like as a teacher, I genuinely want all my students to be not just get their grades well, not just get their grades up, but I genuinely want them to be better people. I want them to leave school with good grades, yes, but to be functioning adults with good morals and values and stuff. And I just don't know if you see that at a whole lot of other schools. So I'm very proud to be an Indian from where I'm at, coming in. Now, Rob, did you go to any of the sectionals games this year?
Oh, yes.
How many did you? I know you were at the football ones.
I also went to basketball.
You went to the basketball
Had to
ones?
go
Okay.
see my buddy Gannon.
Were you at the 3-point game winner, Jesse
Oh,
Simpkins?
yes.
There you go.
Nah, that
Was
crazy.
actually sitting about 2 seats from his father.
Oh, really? I'm sure he was going
That
crazy.
I
that
heard
was
he
magic.
ran out of his seat down to the.
He jumped over the
Yeah.
railing.
Oh, yeah, over the
And,
railing.
and
And he went to go
he
see
just
his-
took
yeah,
off.
Yeah.
But my angle of that shot, you knew.
Yeah.
Just halfway there, you knew it was
And
going
I was
in.
on the court, and I knew it was going.
No, if you watch the replay, Gannon's like, oh, no.
Because like whole season's on the line, and it's just.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it touched the rim at all.
No, it was a pure
Yeah, it
net
was-
only,
yeah.
but
Who,
no.
who was supposed to take that shot?
So the game plan was I talked to Coach about this. No, it was Kobe.
You mean here? I'll tell it. So
Yeah.
they were in that zone that they were doing the whole game. So we were gonna have Jesse on the one side, me on the other side, and Preston bringing the ball up. We were gonna try to get Kobe the ball in the middle, and then he was gonna play out of it and look for shooters. And it just so happened that Kobe didn't even get the ball. Preston
he was
or
the
I
only
got
one
the
to not
ball.
touch the ball.
Yeah, I swung it back to Preston. He drove. Jesse was somehow open. I don't know how they missed that. I think best
Yeah.
shooter on the court.
Yeah,
So I don't know how that happened, but
Yeah. Kobe was going to make a play, and he didn't even
Yeah.
touch the ball. But, hey,
Yeah.
it worked out.
Yeah, we didn't even have to have a 3.
no.
A 2.
No.
went.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
No, it was a busted play, and it happened at the buzzer beater.
Yeah.
But not only that, were you at any of the other games?
Yes.
Not just like our games, but like the other games in sectionals.
Oh, yes, that's true.
We had, 3 in a row?
3 in a row,
3.
yes.
Oh, no,
Buzzer
I didn't
beater
go to
threes?
those. I only went to
Oh.
the Mississippi
Yeah.
games, but just watching the replays on them.
3 in a row buzzer beaters. There was something special happening at Mississauga
Yeah.
this year. But
Yeah, it was crazy.
So what's your favorite sport to attend at Mississauga?
Football.
Oh, man.
Sorry, Gannon.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Yeah, I understand.
Well, football's been my favorite sport for.
Yeah, and
forever,
Mississauga
so-
football, it's
And
that's one of a
Mississauga,
kind.
yes.
It's one of
I
a
mean,
kind.
Is that
it
you
is.
played football, right?
You could say that. I was on the roster. My name was on there.
Oh man, no, I'm excited for. Well, I'm a diehard baseball fan, so baseball's just around the corner. But no, our
Yeah.
sports are super fun here.
I love it.
So we're gonna end this podcast with a couple of quick rapid fire questions. So Gannon, I didn't tell you about this, but you can think of just fun, simple, quick questions.
Wow. Okay.
So we'll get a couple
No,
each.
no
just-
trick questions.
There are no trick questions. Just first answer that comes to your mind. All right.
All right.
Favorite breakfast food.
Bacon and eggs.
All right.
Favorite NFL team?
Indianapolis Colts.
Yes. Yes.
Favorite place to eat in Gas City?
Ooh.
Be careful. Merle's gonna listen to this.
Yeah,
Rob.
Merle's. No, he won't. Probably the Casa out the interstate.
Oh, that's my favorite too.
So real quick, that's out of all the Mexican in Grant County, is that your favorite?
Probably so. I mean, really, all the food's the same, but that's just got the environment. That's just got the
yeah.
vibe. And when you go out there, you have the Mississauga community, a lot of the people out there, and so forth, and you know everyone.
No, yeah. Favorite dessert?
Cheesecake.
What kind of cheesecake?
Oh, blueberry cheesecake.
Okay. There you go.
Blueberry.
Berry
That's a
fruit.
good decision.
Yes.
I can't do the strawberry with the seeds. I don't know.
Favorite genre of food?
It's a big word.
American.
American. Okay.
Now, favorite movie?
Oh, I don't know that I have a favorite movie, but if I
No, that's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm not really much of a movie guy, but
Yeah.
the one that I probably watched more than any back in the day, Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Okay.
God.
Hey, that's a
That
good
was
one.
back in the day.
The original Back to the Future.
All
That
right,
was-
final question here, and we'll
All right.
tie it to what you do. So, what is your favorite current model Chevrolet?
Tahoe.
Tahoe.
I drive a
There
Chevy
you go.
Tahoe. That's my favorite vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah,
What are you driving right now? A Tahoe?
Tahoe.
Okay.
Tahoe.
'Cause I know you get to switch around whenever you want to.
Yeah.
You were a
that
big
is-
high country truck when I was there.
Yep. High country truck or high country Tahoe.
Ooh.
You did drive a lot of trucks, though.
Yeah.
So,
High country Tahoe with a Duramax diesel that
Oh.
somebody's father also
Oh
has
yeah.
a diesel.
That's true.
oh yeah, real quick. Was Gannon a bad employee?
No, to answer that question for both of you, so now that you touched on
Oh,
that.
here we go. Now I'm getting
I
thrown
can
under here.
say, you know, Derek coming out of college and coming into us, the interview process was very unique.
Yes, it was.
Hold on. What happened?
I think,
We don't need to get into the
I
details.
think Derek was intimidated, and if by Wendy and I,
Oh.
but he was very intimidated by Wendy. But there was just something about him.
I'm not
that
shaking my
said-
head no. That's a yes.
There was just something about him that said, we can shape this guy. We can make something out of this. You know, like when you look at a little ball of Play-Doh, you can form it to what you want. That's kind of how we treated Derek. And I would think that he not only did he learn how to sell cars and so forth, but I'm going to gather Derek also learned a lot of life lessons.
That's true.
Okay, so, and Derek was a very good employee, and we were sad that he left. Gannon, I had the privilege of also having his older brother work for me. And so that kind of set the bar right there. You kind of had a
So was he better or worse than his older brother?
no offense, Garrison, much better.
There you go.
Gannon was a good employee who came to work, and that's always been one of my mottos is, you know, get to work on time. It takes just as much effort to be 5 minutes late as it does 5 minutes early, and come to work. And Gannon was a very good worker. He put pride in his work, and you knew that his finished product was right.
Appreciate that.
Well, speaking of that, I got to come to you within the next week or so. My lease is coming up, so we got to figure that out. Maybe we can work a deal. But
right,
Rob,
we'll take
thank you
care
for
of you.
joining us on our first episode of the TribeCast. We greatly appreciate having you on here, and I think that's all we have. So
Thank
tune
you,
in
sir.
next time. We'll have some more
Thank
business
you,
and
Gannon.
community leaders.
All right.
But thank you so much.
All right, thank you all.